we have Sage Ilagan here as our guest interviewee. Stick around for the full interview.
Kwento mo. Kwento mo.
Kwento mo
Sa Lirikwento.
Alright. Hi, Sage. How are you?
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So, bago tayo mag-start, so may
Okay.
question kami para sa'yo. And
Sige.
we'll each take turns to answer naman din. So, our question is, what is your favorite item that you've bought this year?
Favorite item that I bought this year. Oh, wait. Mga dalawa na nabili kong ganun eh. So,
Ay, wow.
I think the favorite thing that I bought this year would be yung ring light ko siguro. Because I've been doing a lot of, well, as we all know, di ba, parang most of our meetings now are online. And it's hard to have like a very decent setup at home. So parang the least I could do is make my lighting a little bit better. So I bought a ring light for myself. And
Alright.
it made things better. So, yun lang. Yun lang kaya kong kontrolin sa buhay ko. So, ganun.
Ikaw, Alex or Shawn? Kayo. Ano yung paborito niyong item? Feeling ko I know what Alex's is eh.
Teka lang. Sige, si Alex muna.
I'm having
I'm
a
still
hard time
thinking.
choosing kasi dalawa sila. Okay, so, I think for now, yung favorite ko na ito yung most
Wow!
recent buy ko. It's
Amazing.
a Daban Master Grade Astrea Type F Gundam.
Damn.
And ang dami yung shield. Actually, ginagawa ko yung shield kanina lang. So, for now, yan yung favorite kong binili this year. Kasi, intricate yung way of building sa kanya. Kaya, gusto ko siya as a build.
Nice.
Amazing. Sige, ako. Naisip ko na yung sa akin.
Mm.
Yung favorite thing na nabili ko this year is this. Ito. It's a drawing tablet. Pero,
Wow!
like, Na-
Amazing.
I think it's one of those buys na parang bakit ngayon ko lang to binili. Like like dati it would have been so useful dati pa. Especially ngayong online classes, and then if you're like in an engineering course, ang daming sinusulat, like yung mga problem sets and all that. Like you have to solve instead of learning latex, I just write on that. And then yung
Nice.
sinasubmit ko imbes na kailangan ko mag-scan and all. So it's pretty good if you're into art or if you're an engineering student, it's good to have this.
Practical. That's practical.
Ikaw,
Alright.
Mijon, ano sa'yo?
Pinaka-paborito kong binili. Printer. I bought a printer, Epson L120 kasi
Uy! That's great. That's a great printer. We have
yeah,
one here at home then.
it is. It's very expensive. I like it kasi mas nagko-concentrate ako sa readings tsaka sa script analysis kasi kailangan talaga isulat mo as a theater student. It really helps talaga kung rather than highlighting online and typing the notes down. It's really psychologically better when
The
you write it
tactile
down
feel.
talaga.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Baka kailangan mo ng drawing tablet. Joke lang.
Oo nga, no?
Purchase na yan ni Mijon. Tama.
Well,
Next
personally,
buy.
I really think that writing after reading is better kasi mas natatandaan mo kung ano yung sinulat mo.
Mhm.
Ayan.
Tama.
So,
May studies na about that eh. So,
Time to buy a drawing tablet.
Thank you, Shawn.
add to cart.
add to call to now.
Oh my God. Okay. Now that the icebreaker is done, let's start from the very start, Sage. What first got you into music? As in, yung pinakaunang earliest memory siguro, or like, ever since, ganon. Ever since I was born, ganito na ako, ganon.
Paano ba? Earliest memory ko siguro kasi I love listening to music ever since I was young. Ang mga kwento sa akin ng parents ko before when we were in the States, when I was around 3 siguro, I would um, I would dance and sing around Hollywood, singing to Backstreet Boys, ganun. And I think dun pa lang parang I had this big inclination to parang performing and singing specifically. So yun, I guess I developed that love for music at a very early age.
Na ano pala siya, na-inspire siya ng You are
Tama.
my
Hi.
fire.
Yes.
Pakita nga ng moves ng ng dance
Brooklyn
steps.
Nine-Nine, please. Okay.
Grabe.
Yun. So, going further into that, ayun, were or are your inspirations to make music? So, I think yun, Backstreet Boys is one. Or maybe you have other artists na gusto mong i-attribute yung music mo.
I think a big part of my music journey was really listening to the music that my parents would let me listen to. So my parents were big fans of Sting and the Police and U2, a lot of 80s artists. Tapos they also got me listening to Eraserheads, um, River Maya, Haroke and Edgar. So early on, I was able to be just a fan of these different types of music. And I think yun yung masaya when it comes to uh, parang music making. I think being a fan is really the start. You have to be really a great admirer of music. I think that's what I was able to build on as I grew up. Na ngayon parang being able to write music is one thing pero parang being able to appreciate music and all kinds of music is just really important in being an artist. So yun. Ngayon, I listen to a lot of Death Cab for Cutie. Mahilig ako sa mga ganong klaseng music. I also like listening to mga 90s grunge stuff. Mga Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins. Tapos yung mga garage, hindi garage rock, parang mga medyo noise rock, mga Pavement, ganun. Parang recent artists naman na trip ko si Bia Badoobie. So, yun, kasi parang na-incorporate niya yung mga sounds of like really heavy 90s grunge rock with yung mga pop sensibilities niya. So, yun.
Have you
Sige.
listened to like stuff from We the Kings or maybe some
We the
pop
Kings.
punk?
Yeah. Growing up, siguro nung grade school, high school, yun yung mga pinapakinggan ko. So,
Oh gosh.
when I went to the States when I was 12, dala-dala ko 2 album. Tapos may CD player pa ako nun.
Oh
I
my
had From
gosh.
Under the Cork Tree, tapos Infinity on
Oh.
High ng Fall Out Boy. I had those 2 albums.
Oh
my
Tapos yun
God.
lang pinapakinggan ko, the flight going there and then the flight back.
Oh
So, I had
mom,
those
it's
2
not a
CDs.
phase.
Okay.
Uh,
I just had to ask kasi nung pinakinggan ko yung Discord Love, yung song mo on Spotify, yung vibes na nakuha ko dun, it was very pop rock or punk rock yung vibe niya
Yeah.
sa akin.
Growing up kasi I love listening to those music. Hindi ko kasi siya parang yan before kasi yung band ko iba yung mga trip nila. They listen to a lot of classic rock. They listen to a lot of parang very 60s, 70s type of music. Tapos I wasn't able to relate to them as much before. Kasi yun nga, pinapakinggan ko Fall Out Boy with the Kings, All Time Low, gano'n. So parang ngayon that I'm able to explore parang being a solo artist, ganun. I think mas na-embrace ko na yung roots ko pagdating dun sa ganong klaseng music. At yun nga, parang being able to grow as someone who is free to parang play whatever and create whatever music that I want. So, yun, masaya.
Tanda ko nung bata ako, yung parents ko, meron silang maliit na speaker na iniiwan on top of like yung fat TV, and then may flash drive na nakasaksak, and then it's just full of Westlife.
Wow.
Tapos ayun
Nice.
tuloy ngayon ngayon I have an ungodly amount of memory of Westlife songs. Yung mga overseas coast to coast.
Yes. That's the
Kaya,
jam.
kaya ewan ko, i- if you love them nung bata ka, I guess you grow up like remembering it as a good memory, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has a
And
weird effect on you na parang feeling mo, oh, uh, it was a long time ago, but when you hear the music, parang it just hits you. Ganun.
parang, yeah,
Di
yeah,
ba?
yeah.
Parang in the back of your head, you know all the lyrics. Ganun.
Yeah.
So ito, you make your own music. So how would you describe yung music that you usually create? Like what style do you usually go for, or is there something in your songs that you always want to have?
I'm not really good at classifying my music.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, I don't really like parang saying na, okay, this is my style or this is my genre. I guess it's just that parang feeling ko when I give labels to the type of music I make, I feel a little bit boxed to that type of music. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's always a journey for me to explore whatever sounds I could make in the process. But yun nga, for the sake of like uploading my songs to online streaming services, siguro I do have to like choose a genre or a style of music just for them to categorize my music. When they do ask me, siguro sinasabi ko na lang na para rock. I think it's basically just pop rock, the type of music that
Mm.
I make. Because that's also a very wide category of music.
Yep.
And I feel like hindi naman ako super limited to that. So yun. Um, yeah.
I also had problems with that nung first time ko mag-upload nga sa Spotify kasi they want you to classify what kind of artist you are, and it's like
Yeah.
hindi mo alam kung anong kind of artist ka at that point, so you just have to go with whatever
Yeah.
you think yung ilalabas mong music.
And yeah, especially when you're just starting and then you don't have a really big catalog behind you. Parang, so, how would I classify this? Parang, I don't think it's enough for me to parang put words to what kind of style or genre my music is. So yun.
I have a
That's,
problem with genres in general. Like there's so many genres for some reason, and then like I think like genres split fan bases a lot, and I don't
mm-hmm.
think it's good. Like you know how, for example, ito yung pinaka big example para sa akin is Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Like if yung latest album nila na nandun pa si Chester, like so many people were criticizing it because it wasn't Linkin Park, but like the genre of like a band can change over time.
Yeah.
But the band doesn't change, it's the same
Yeah.
people writing
Yeah.
music together. But I don't know, maybe genre having to identify in a genre can kind of hurt you in the long run, right?
Yeah.
Genres are a social construct.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Parang ganun,
god.
parang ganun.
That
We
that
live in a
hit me
society.
We live in a
hard.
Maybe in society. Diyos
Yun
ko.
nga, I think kasi diba parang as a band or parang as a group of people, there will always be changes. Especially yun nga, when your band is already 5, 6, 10 years
Mhm.
old.
Mhm.
I
Like
mean, you
yung
wouldn't be listening to the same stuff that you listened to 10 years ago, diba? Or the type of music that you like before is not necessarily the type of music you like now. And if you're just like stuck on making that same type of music over and over again, parang I don't think it would be healthy for you or for your fans because they're just gonna be listening to the same thing that you did before.
Oh.
So yun.
That's
Parang
true.
for me, like one specific example would be yung fans ng Fallout Boy. So when they released Take This to Your Grave, parang wow, ang galing ng Fallout Boy, and it's and they built a fan base based on that sound, yung Take This to Your Grave sound. But as they progressed, they put on a lot more parang stylistic decisions that involve a lot of pop music elements to their sound. And not all of their fans liked it. I mean, they lost a lot of fans because, yeah, they wanted to change as a group, as a band. They didn't want to stick to that very pop punk sound that they had before. And I think it was okay up until before they had a hiatus. Pero, yun nga, I think it's healthy. It's even healthy to be changing as an artist and to be changing your sound every now and then. Kasi kung hindi, parang, ano nang gagawin mo? Pare-pareho lang ginagawa mo. So, yun.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Kasi, I don't know kung kailan to, pero nagkaroon ng parang joke ang Moonstar 88 before na mag-change na raw sila from their genre to like metal, I think.
Okay.
A lot of fans just got tilted from that. Nainis sila na sinabi nila yun as a joke on April 1. I'm like, it's a joke. And even if they did, it would still be good
Yeah.
kasi sila pa rin yung band. And then,
Oo.
yeah, I have to agree din sa Fallout Boy. Ayun. Actually, nanood ako nung return concert nila for Save Rock and Roll na album.
Oh, okay.
And I have to say, nag-iba nga talaga yung
Feel?
style nila dun sa album na yun. Like, nung pinakinggan ko yung album, ang daming mix ng... Meron dun isang song na minix nila yung dubstep. I have to say, yun yung, returning from a hiatus. Yun yung parang balik nila into trying to mix genres into rock.
Yeah.
Which I really like, pero ang dami ring fans na hindi nila nagustuhan yun.
Yeah. At saka for me, it's okay na I think it's inevitable that you'll lose fans along the way. Kasi yun nga, iba na yung trip mo sa trip ng fans mo. And I think that's
Yeah.
okay. Because you're changing. You're becoming a different artist. You're growing.
Oh. And besides, they could listen to your old songs naman. I
Oo,
mean, they're
nandyan
there
pa rin naman
forever.
yun.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're there.
Unless, Spotify takes them off because, streaming.
That's a whole other topic. But yeah.
Ay, okay. Tapos I just wanna describe, I mean, i-read ko yung bio mo sa Spotify. Parang it says here kasi Sage Ilagan is a composer, music producer, and sound engineer based in the Philippines, and describes his music as the moment when a heartbreak makes the end of the world seem not so bad. How did you come up with that? How did you come up with that description? Parang did it just boop, or did it like grow?
I think it has a lot to do with
Sorry.
me. Hindi siya parang idea na lang that popped in my head na parang wow, ganun. Because me and my friend, yung co-producer ko for this for my solo project, we were talking about it na parang, oy, gawin mo naman ako ng description kasi wala pa akong nilalagay dun sa Spotify ko, tapos ang empty niya, ganun. And then we were talking about it, tapos parang I was asking him, so how would you describe my music? Kasi nahirapan kami na should I classify my music as this or that? Tapos parang sabi niya, di ba emo ka naman talaga, gano'n. Tapos tapos hindi na ako nag-no sa kanya kasi parang I think I have this habit of writing really, really sad songs, sad and depressing songs. And I think it's really one of the things that I excel at. Tapos parang naisip ko rin na parang now that we're stuck in a pandemic, na it feels like the end of the world. Parang hanggang dito na lang tayo, ganun. But at the same time, parang sometimes there might be other things that would be heavier for other people when they're experiencing those things. So, ayun, one of the things that I thought about was having heartbreaks or parang experiencing these life-changing experiences especially in breakups and these very emotional relationships. That sometimes these heartbreaks would feel like it's more difficult to deal with than anything else in the world. So yun, I guess that's how we were able to come up with that.
Hugs. Virtual hugs.
Mhm.
Ay. Segue muna tayo ng onte. Si Sage kasi is an applicant sa UP Lirika. So kung if you're looking for a sign to apply in UP Lirika for all the listeners, this is it. Ayan.
Oo nga. Tama.
Plug.
Self-plug ng
Naplagan.
onte. May follow-up question pala ako, Sage.
Go lang.
So for 'di ba, you talked about your songs and stuff. What is generally ano yung general songwriting process mo sa kanta mo? Do you do lyrics first before melody, melody first before lyric, or like what's your general theme sa ano? Well, yung theme na sabi na. Pero yung general process of songwriting.
Okay, so I guess I do have a process, pero the process is actually not having a linear process. I feel like that is one of the special things that I try to do when I make music. Na ayoko nagsisimula palagi ayokong may inuulit akong parte ng proseso dun sa ginagawa ko. So, parang feeling ko, it always has to be different every time I would write something. Because if it's just the same thing, yun nga, parang mabobore lang ako, tapos parang, I would feel like this is just a tiring job that I have to do over and over again. So what I do is I try to start from anywhere. So sometimes I would write lyrics first, na parang, this sounds good, or parang, this is a nice metaphor, ganun. And sometimes I would just I would play around with some chords, tapos record ko lang siya, tapos after that, lalapatan ko na lang everything else. Or sometimes I would do like full-blown arrangements first, and then after that, tsaka ko lang siya lalagyan ng lyrics. I make it a point that it's always different every time. Even my medium of writing would be different. So sometimes I would just have my guitar and then sing some lines, and then yun, I already have the song. Sometimes I would just be on my phone, parang singing melodies to myself. Sometimes I would just be on my computer, on my notation software, and notating every piece of music that I want. So yun, it's always different every time. But in the process, I guess I always make it a point to have space to parang process everything after rest. So, ang ginagawa ko, once I have these ideas, I just let it sit for a while and not listen to it or not look back at it first. Kasi feeling ko mas nakakatulong yon for me to have a different perspective the next time I would visit my music. And it really helps me be more critical about how I write, and at the same time it gives me space on how I can improve on myself. So yun.
I just want to commend you for all those creative freedom, the creative freedom that you give to yourself. Kasi sometimes a lot of people that I know who do songwriting, they keep themselves in a box, or like they limit themselves. Tapos ikaw parang you can do anything, parang and it's okay to do these
Yeah,
things.
it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
There's nothing wrong with exploring. Ayun.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with. Sometimes I would just write drum beats, ganun. Parang, this is a nice beat, ganun. And I'm not even thinking of a song. I just feel like, I really like this beat, and maybe this is going somewhere. So, I guess with the process for me, if it's possible for you to have I think it's more on where you're really comfortable at. Finding where you're comfortable, and after that, trying to be uncomfortable again. I think that's what makes writing music interesting.
So, for the next question, ayun. So, talking about songwriting process. For the song Discord Love, what was your process? How did you write that song?
How did I write Discord love? So I was in a Discord call with my friend, and we were talking about we were talking about these online connections that we make through these dating apps. It was very interesting for me to explore that concept of finding love in the online setting, because you've never met this person in real life, and you've only seen their face, diba? And but you create these connections that you never thought you would make, and I think that's a very interesting thing to write about. So yun, after that call with my friend, I went on my computer and then just started playing chords. Tapos, I the first thing that came up was, well, besides the chorus. So I started with that chorus. I want a little bit of Discord love, ganon. And then I just sang gibberish throughout the whole chorus. Tapos sabi ko, yeah, I'll just fix this later, ganon. So I just plotted out that chorus, and then the next thing that came to mind. So yun nga, parang I start with these ideas. I build songs through these ideas that I would create. Tapos after that chorus that I wrote yung bridge part. So if you're familiar with the bridge breakdown, yung bass breakdown, I wrote that part, and then I didn't really know how to make that fit into the song, but I just felt like, oh, this sounds cool. So yeah, we might fit it into the song. You might just scratch it later, pero ayun, at this point in time, parang feeling ko that's cool, and I'll keep it. And yeah, I sent that to my friend, and then my friend was like, "Oh, okay to ah. I want to hear it when it's finished, ganun." And then my friend gave me this best advice that I could ever get in my life, sabi niya. Cause I was writing the song and I had no sleep, but I was able to do this thing, and then sabi niya, "Alam mo, Sage, matulog ka muna." Tapos, that's exactly what I did. So I slept. So after writing the song, I slept through the afternoon, and then I woke up the next day. And yun, I finished the whole song. And I think for for the people that are still learning how to make music and are still starting, I think that's the best advice that I could give, na leave some room to rest. There would always be time for you to improve on your music. But don't forget to take care of yourself first. Yun.
That's I have to agree with that kasi before ang when I first started writing songs na usually after writing I have this time na hindi ko talaga alam kung anong isusulat ko after I started kasi it's kind of like uh mental block for for if you're a writer of a book, it's mental blocks for writers. Pero ito, mental block for musicians kasi you started it pero hindi mo alam kung paano tatapusin. It becomes hard at some point. Hindi lang naman kasi siya nagiging isang go lang na matatapos mo kagad yung kanta. It's a
Yeah.
process na mahirap talaga. So, I have to agree that you need to rest. Like, from time to time, kung hindi mo matapos yung kanta. Kasi, it's not something that you can make in a day, I think.
Although some people can, but like
But
that's a different story.
That's a
if
whole
people
other
can do that,
story.
that's
That's a
just
whole different story. That's just
It takes.
that's just unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Hindi tayo
Discord Love,
naghihirap
it took me 2 days to finish the song.
Now that's just unfair.
Hindi, cause it was like this. Yun nga, parang I had this idea, and I think what made it easier for me to finish the song was that at the very start I didn't want to filter myself. I felt like so I was talking to Mijon about this, parang word vomiting. And I think in terms of songwriting, it's it's one of the things that I like experimenting with. Na hindi ko na lang, I don't like filtering what I write when I start the writing process. It helps me get going, and parang in terms of having mental blocks, when you don't filter yourself, you don't really have those mental blocks. I feel that when you're uninhibited with the writing process, um, it makes you feel like you could write anything. Because basically, when you're in that brainstorming process, pwede mo naman talagang isulat lahat eh. And when I was writing Discord Love, that was what I was thinking of na I don't have to think about parang what others would think and what I would think or how I would criticize myself if I'm just in the writing process. I could do that in the editing process, diba?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yun. And then while writing the lyrics, parang actually the song structure was already done before I was able to write the lyrics. And I was
Oh.
talking to my mom na parang, Mom, does this make sense? Or parang, because I would do that a lot. I would talk to my parents or I would talk to my brother. Sabihin ko, oy, tama ba tong sinasabi ko? O parang, does it fit into this theme that I was going for? And yun, I mean, being able to absorb information from other people na parang not being too focused on the genius aspect of writing. I think that helps a lot in my writing process na yun, I don't have to rely too much on myself when it comes to making my own music na there would be always other people that could help me yun nga, have new perspectives, and at the same time it makes my job easier na not all the pressure's on me ganun. So even if I would consider myself a solo artist, I still get a lot of help from my friends, from my family, ganun. So yun, it takes the load off my shoulders.
That is true. Like very recently, I've started showing the stuff that I make to other people. I think Mijon gets a lot of them. I
Yeah.
think I think Mijon listens to a lot of them, and then I ask, hey, what do you think about that? I go to see Ian, to see Raf, and all. They're like, hey, what do you think? How about the mixing, the mastering? What do you think about this lyric? Is that kind of and then all that,
Yeah.
and then they give me their critique. They're like, oh, I like this part. That part's a bit rough. Maybe you can prolong this part. I'd like it better if you prolong that. And so it's really good to have people to collaborate with in the songwriting process, because it helps yun nga sabi ni Sage kanina, give you a different perspective than what you usually have, because obviously you think even subconsciously you think, hey, I'm the best at everything, I can't make mistakes, right? But everyone else probably sees through your lies and deception. Joke lang.
Parang may
Uh,
Pero ayun,
pahugot
it's
yata
good.
to ah.
Ayan. I have to say na you have to be careful with that as well. Para sa mga magsisimula pa lang magsulat ng songs. Because seeking approval from others is fine. Just as long as that doesn't become your motivation for writing.
Yeah.
Kasi
Mm-hmm.
I did that before when I was writing poems. Like nagsusulat ako ng random poems nung high school, tapos binabasa ng mga kaklase ko, tapos nagpapagawa pa sila ng poems for themselves, like kung ano yung na experience nila. So ayun. Seeking approval from them makes it harder for you to actually make your own music. Kasi minsan hindi mo na ginagawa kung ano yung gusto mo. Ginagawa mo na lang kung anong gusto ng ibang tao. Which is not why you should write. That's really, uh, not to say it's a kind of motivation, but it's not the best motivation to write.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that kasi it's a very different, well, for me personally, it's a very different process and experience when I write for myself compared to when I'm writing for other people or I'm writing for clients. Um, there's a sense of detachment when I write for other people and my other clients na um, I feel that I don't have as much when it comes to writing my own music. Um, Parang being able to create music for other people. Yung experience kasi for me, uh, it helps me see the writing process um, in a more parang third person perspective. Na yun nga kasi hindi to sa akin, ganun. Meron akong ganung konsepto na hindi to sa akin at kahit ano pwede kong gawin, ganun. Kasi pag nagsusulat ako para sa sarili ko, yun, ang daming doubts, ang daming inhibitions. Kasi, um, I guess it's also because when you release the song and when other people hear it, um, they would trace it back to you. And sometimes they would relate the song and its elements to you as a person. So that scares me personally as a
Mm-hmm.
songwriter, as a music maker. Na parang I don't want people to judge me just based on this single piece of music that I made. But at the same time, siguro yun din yung nagfa-fuel sa akin to keep on making music na I want other people to um, not just know me, pero parang be more interested in listening to all types of music. Na not just be limited to just this song that I wrote 10 years ago, ganun. But explore with me as I discover my own self through making music. Ganun.
So, with your song Discord Love, since you have all these oh, what are they gonna think about my music and how are they gonna see me after listening to it, right? How was the release of that song for you? Like, was it like, obviously, since you're releasing it, it's gonna be a bit of a, oh, medyo kinakabahan ka konti, kahit papano, like, how are people going to receive it, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
was it?
The release? Well, paano ba? Uh, yeah, before the release, I was really scared. Na parang, will people like it? Will people not like it? Pero nung na-release na siya, I think it was more of a sigh of relief for me. Because it's been a long time since I've put music out there and put myself out there. I feel like being able to release that song or any song actually, um, it made me feel more confident about myself. Na yun nga, kaya kong magsulat at kaya kong maglabas ng music para sa ibang mga tao. In terms of the reaction from different people, parang I guess it was something that they could relate to. I think, parang writing the song, I felt that it had that effect on people. Na wanting to have this connection is very natural to people. And so, yun nga, a lot of my friends would say na I could relate to your song, it's a really nice song. But what happened was it became a meme. And
Naging me.
it became a meme. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. But yun nga, I guess because of the impact of yun nga, online dating and being able to communicate in so many ways through the internet, it's been this common language for other people to talk about having a Discord love eh. Na how I was able to explain it to my friends was that yun nga, Discord love isn't just constrained to just Discord as a platform. Parang Discord love is more of a concept of yun nga, finding love when you can't really be with this love physically. Ganun. And
I was thinking like it's more of a, nung una ko narinig yung title when you first introduced the song to us, it was like, hey, is it about like love in this time of Discord? Parang ganun. And then I was like, whoa. Hindi, tas
wow.
yung pala literally, it's a Discord love pala yung pinag-usapan. But like, yeah,
Yeah, but yun nga,
it's kind of cool.
that's cool because I haven't thought of that. I think that's what I like. That's what I really like when people have their own meanings to this piece of art that I would make. Parang
Mhm.
I didn't think about that. Parang or having love in this time of Discord. Oh, that's a very deep and complex thing to think about, and I didn't think of that. And I'm really happy that you were able to um, have that idea just based on the title. Yun nga, parang feeling ko, in terms of the reaction, people have different understandings of the lyrics of the song. And yun nga, every day I would be surprised on how people would take it or how they would understand it and how they would tell stories about how they would relate to the song, and it would always be different depending on the person. So yun, as an artist, it's something that I really treasure. Um, Having this effect on people um, that you don't really prepare for, and it feels great.
Now let's talk about medyo fast forward tayo. Who would you like to collaborate with na artist? Like sino
Si
yung mga
Mijon.
dream ko?
Instantly. No
First
questions
thing that
asked.
comes to mind talaga. First thing that
Stream
comes to
Taka,
mind.
stream Discord love.
Nag-plug na. Ayun.
Kasi before
Yes.
before before Mijon even finishes yung question, kasi parang going into the app process of Lirica, parang cool, so many people here like music, and it feels like a very safe place to just share my music with other people, ganun. And one of the first things that I saw was, oh cool, there's this person that just released something on Spotify. Tapos, sige, let me listen to it, diba? Ayan, tapos I heard Takas. It was a whole other experience for me. Parang, where's this coming from? Parang, where's this sound coming from? And why is this so good? Why are there more people listening to this? I mean, grabe. Yun, I was in shock. I was in awe. I was just amazed by how much music there is for that very little time it has. So parang feeling ko hindi pa nga enough yung yung span ng buong song. Yun, it was a totally different experience for me, and being able to collaborate with a musician with such deep understanding of music, parang yun, it would be an honor.
Si Mijon parang di makapaniwala. It's like, is this me? Is this me? Sarah?
Deep. Deep na ako. Diyos ko. But yeah, thank you talaga. I mean, sure, we can collaborate soon. Pero sino yung sa mga headliners siguro kasi, di ba? Mga headlining musicians, local or international, who would
Local,
you like? Ano yung
international.
dream collaboration mo?
Well, locally, I think na-fulfill ko na yung dream ko in terms of parang having my collaboration with one of my most favorite artists in the world. A few years ago, I was able to collaborate with ang bandang Shirley with their song Karagatan. It was kasi so how this happened was when I was still with my band Ashley's Kryptonite. That was a few years ago. Yung last na nirelease naming EP was produced by Ian Aguila of ang bandang Shirley. Tapos parang after that, parang yung dream ko talaga was parang to be even able to contribute to parang one of ang bandang Shirley's songs. And during that time, they were still working on their album Favorite. Tapos nung time na yun, bigla akong message ni Ian na sabi niya, "Oy Sage, gusto mo bang maglagay ng percussion para dito sa track namin na to?" Tapos parang, what? Yes, of course. Tapos parang, right that second, sige, send mo na yung tracks. Tapos, yun, ginawa ko na siya agad. Tapos parang feeling ko the next day, sinend ko na sa kanya agad. No, parang masyadong mabilis naman yun. Pero, nakinggan ko muna yung mga sinabi niyang influences for the track. Tapos, and I tried to absorb everything first. Tapos yun, sinend ko na siya as soon as I can. As soon as I could. Kasi parang, yun, feeling ko it was like one of the biggest opportunities that I was ever given, ever. And until now, yun nga, that would still be my dream collaboration. Kahit nangyari na siya, parang, yun, it's still something that I'm very happy that happened. That's for like yung local artists. Dito, siguro international artist. Dream collaboration ko yun nga, makapag-collaborate with Death Cab for Cutie. So, yun. Kung nakikinig man si
Wow.
Ben Gibbard, please collaborate with me. Ganun. Yun.
uh talking about people plugging. So I'm gonna combine two questions in one para lang ano. So para lang tuloy-tuloy lang natin to. So for ayun, talking about plugging music. So how was your marketing kind of the marketing experience for Discord Love, and aside from songs being released on Spotify, where have you performed in? Venues or uh stages that you are known that you have performed in?
Uh, Start muna tayo dun sa marketing process.
Yeah.
Dun sa marketing process, it was just me and my friend. Uh, so yung friend ko si Drina, siya yung gumawa ng album art for Discord Love. And then for the rest of the marketing process, it was just basically me learning how to use Illustrator. It was a totally different experience for me. Na parang, wow, so now I have to promote my song, and I'm done with the song, but now I have to like make art for people to notice that my song's out there. So yun, I learned how to use Illustrator during that time. Tapos parang every release, parang every pub release that I would do, I would get better at it. And it felt really great because I was learning a new thing, and at the same time I was sharing my music with more people. Um, and for me, one of the most important things about being an artist is being open to learning anything and anything and everything. And I think yun, yung daily learnings ko as a musician, as an artist, um, it's just one of the things that makes me grow every day. And it's also one of the things that I would want to share to people. Na there will always be a space for learning. And for me, that was learning how to market my music and learning how to use these tools to support my music making. Um, Going to the second question, na parang stages I've performed in, uh, I haven't performed in a lot of stages recently. Um, I would do some live performances every now and then on my Facebook account. Pero,
Mm.
yun. I mean, if other people would want me to perform on their gig, sige, game naman ako. I guess now I'm focusing more on recording my other songs for my EP. So I'm planning to release an EP by the end of the year. And, yun, I'm still working on the songs.
Mm.
I think that's my focus right now. And also, bukod dun sa personal EP ko, I'm also working with my friend's with my friend dun sa EP niya. So, yun, more of a producer's hat naman yun. And, yun, I think that, in terms of like sharing my experiences and sharing my talents with other people, feeling ko, mas na-enjoy ko yung producing hat kaysa dun sa performer's hat. Yes, I love performing. Yes, I love sharing my music with other people. Pero for me, yung parang presence ko backstage is really what I enjoy more. Parang being there in the behind the scenes of everything. Parang knowing how these songs get built up from the ground up. Diba? Parang, uh, yun, it just hits me in a very different way. Na parang once it's out there, parang, wow, I was part of this building process, of this producing process. And that makes me a lot happier than me being able to perform on a stage. So, yeah. Hope I answered your
I
question.
really like that. Yung parang, oh, I I've come to really like being a part of the puzzle than being the drawing on the puzzle. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
yeah,
like, kasi like when I picked up film scoring, then it turns out that that's like the part of the filmmaking process that I really like. It's like putting music to this film na ginawa ng like, you know, sobrang dami ding people, like may person who came out to shoot the video, the person who directed it, the person who put all the clips together and in-edit niya. And I
yeah,
really like that part of the process. So I think having to be part of anything like that, it's it's very fulfilling. Parang satisfying niya sa sarili mo na, I've contributed to this project. And, in the end, I'm really satisfied with yung work that I put out, right?
Yeah, because in reality, it's not the work of a genius. It's a team effort to put something up online. Uh, I mean, unless na ikaw gumagawa ng lahat, no? Ano, pero, uh, it's really hard to do that all by yourself.
Mm.
And, yun nga, parang feeling ko, uh, yun yung hindi masyadong napag-uusapan na, uh, it's not just something that we'll wake up to it and then the next day meron na tayong ma-release. I think people have to really see that there is this very big process that um, has to be done before anything reaches our ears, diba? People listening to it, people giving their suggestions, their comments, people working on the album art, people working on the marketing side. Um, and yun yeah, I guess that we have to give credit to those people who work behind the scenes and then that they also deserve as much credit as we performers get credit for. Diba? Yan.
Sage and I were in a I hopped on Discord once kasi mag-isa si Sage dun sa isang voice channel. And I think we talked a bit about like stuff na we were working on. And I think Sage has something that he wants to talk about, a future project of his. Kasi I think he has a bunch of future projects. Is there anything you'd like to share with us, Sage?
Yun. So I'm working on releasing a single, maybe next month or next month. Um, so this single is parang 2-3 years in the making. I wrote the song a few years ago, and parang I think it was just me being tawag dito, never satisfied with my work, and I felt like uh, I felt like I would never release this because yun, it was a very it it's a very personal song for me, and it took a lot for me to produce this and at the same time to write this song, and I'm very excited to release it soon. So yun, I worked on this song with my with a few friends. Tapos I think it's really something that would um, it's something that would describe me as a writer, or actually um, it's something that I want to release because it communicates this very important message about grief and about longing and about how those things could happen at the same time, and that it would be and it's okay to feel those things. So yun.
Yeah, so that's it for our questions. Eto say, do you have any questions for us?
Parang wala.
Ne, okay lang. Okay, thank you so much for accepting the interview. We
Thank
really
you.
hope you enjoy sa iyong app process and you become a member eventually. Yee! And best of luck, break legs sa iyong singles and EPs, albums. EPs? Sorry.
Mm.
Sorry, nasasabog na ako, guys. Okay. Yeah, ayun. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this interview, and we'll see you in the next episode of Lirikwento.